Give a person an inch, they're going to try to take a mile. Have you ever said something like that? Maybe you've got some kids. I know I'm like, gosh, you give these kids 1 inch, they're going to try to take a mile from you. But what if we could do that with your investment portfolio? That's what I want to talk about. So if we haven't met, I'm Eric with Jazz Wealth Managers, where we don't just invest your dough, we like to educate you on your dough. And so let's break this down a bit. Now, you've got to really think about a few different things. So I want to give you a little education on where I'm going with this first to justify talking about actually getting a little bit more, getting that increase there. So the first thing you want to look at, and I've just went through Vanguard actually right this second. They've got a nice little research here broken down of how you're invested. So how you're invested alone could get you a little bit more. Now, what that could mean for you is what I'll show you here in a minute with our planner. But what that is 70% equity, 70% in the stock market, 30% in fixed income, things like bonds. Your average annual return is 9.21%. If you go to an 80-20, it's 9.61. Just right there, you could get 0.4% more. Now, I understand it's all on your risk tolerance, all on your comfort level. But if you're playing catch up for retirement, you got to be careful with this. You don't want to be too conservative with your money. No, you're not going to go just put it all on some crypto ridiculous thing or something and bet it all. But you do want to make a diversified portfolio and really try to make sure that you're getting the right amount of return for what you need for your retirement. Now, let's look at this though, because this is a whole different look at everything. What about expenses? So right here, Smart Asset says that many 401k participants pay an average all-in fee of 2.22%. All-in fee. That's the money manager on the account. That's the mutual fund expense fee that oftentimes you're not ever seeing. It's hidden behind there. It can range anywhere from 0.2 all the way up to 5. So that's a big one right there. What are you paying? Maybe you could skim back a little bit of what you're paying to a money manager to be able to get that little extra increase there. And I'm going to show you in a minute how much that could be. So right here, we're going to look at one more. Investopedia says that the average money manager charges 1% for managing your money. Now, I'm not trying to take a shot at it. Heck, that's what we do around here is manage money. But reality is I want to make sure that you're doing the right thing for your dough. If you have a money manager that's out there that's putting you in an investment fund, maybe like a mutual fund, and they're just buying 1 or 2 mutual funds and they're also charging you 1%, couldn't you do that yourself? If they're not providing any other value, if they're not helping you to look at Roth conversions, tax strategies, withdrawal strategies, all of these different scenarios, when to take Social Security, stuff has to be looked at and really talked through for this. So those are all different things to really then have the conversation of, well, what if you just got a little bit more on your dough? What if you got a little bit more return or you saved a little bit more? So what we're looking at here is Louis Armstrong. He's 50 years old. He's going to retire at 70. He's got $500,000 and he's got 6% return here. Well, currently, if we're looking at a 6% return, that's $1,603,000. So that's really where he's at right this second if he gets a 6% return over 20 years. Now, what happens though if we bump that up just a 0.5%? Maybe it's from the 401k we're saving because you roll it over. Maybe it's because you cut out the money manager, or maybe it's just increase your risk tolerance just a little bit there. So just that alone bumps you up to $1,761,000, over $150,000 more, right? Or right at $150,000 more just for that. So that's a big one for you just to look at. So that's one to consider. But what about the fact that, let's just say, well, hey, you know what? I don't have $500,000. Well, let's start fresh. Let me show you if we just start fresh what we're looking at here. So if we're looking at just starting fresh and you say you're making $80,000 a year and you're saving 5%. Now you're getting that 6% return on your money. That is a big factor that's going to come into play. You want to factor in something there. But if you're putting 5% away, if we go down to scenario 2 on our planner here, it's going to show you that at the same age, you're going to have $147,142. Well, what if you just saved 0.5% more than that 5%? Maybe you stretch it just a little bit, making sure you're playing catch up. How much would that give you? So if you're saving 0.5% more, then just right there, that shows you that you'd have 161,000. So 161 versus 147. It's all about just a little bit more. So make sure that what you're doing with your retirement, you're starting to analyze things. What are my expense fees? How am I invested? What can I do? Do I need to save more to bump it up just a little bit? Just a little bit could mean everything and more later on for securing your financial future. So make sure you think about it. It's just some food for thought. Thanks for watching. If you want to watch more FinTips videos, click here. Be sure to like and subscribe also.